Friends, my name is Jackson, and I'm not your average NB, and welcome back to my channel. Today, uh, today I'm just doing a Reddit video. I'm gonna record. It's Sunday right now, but my mom was out for lunch, so I'm gonna record for a bit. So it might be kind of a shorter Reddit video, but I might record a little bit tomorrow too. We'll see. But I know you guys really want an update to Guardian Angel. I promise I'm gonna drop some chapters next week sometime. I'm trying to make I'm trying to make plans for my schedule so I can write on certain days and then record YouTube videos on certain days. So hopefully I'm gonna have my schedule sorted in the next couple days. I'm I'm going to be busy over the next 2 months. On every Tuesday and Thursday night, I have from 4 to 7 is my employment program thingy. And then I'm going to actually get a job. I'm going to take a break though before I get a job. So the employment program ends in March, and then I'm probably just going to take a break until like April 1st. Then I'm going to get a job, and that's not an April Fool's joke. But I do want to record a little bit of Reddit, even if it's not a very long video. But like I said, I might record more tomorrow, so it's probably going to be a longer video than if I just recorded today. But hopefully, I'm going to post something in the next couple of days, and I'm going to post chapters of A Guardian Angel soon. We'll see, but I have been working on it. I am working on it. I just have been like I I've been taking a break from basically everything. Like, I know I was taking the Christmas break and I was gonna try and get come back sometime in early January, but obviously that didn't work out because there's just been I've been doesn't matter, but I'm gonna make a better schedule, and I'm gonna work it out so that I can write on certain days, and then I can record on certain days, and then I'm gonna have a break on certain days. So once I figure that out, I'll let you guys know. Also, the constipation problem is completely solved. I everything is back to normal. It was my antihistamines. I really think it has to be my antihistamines. Like, I've never had a problem like that before. I'll get constipated for a day or two tops, and then it's always fine. It's so weird because I was constipated for like 3 weeks, which just never happened before, like in my entire lifetime. So yeah, I think it was the antihistamines. That it must have been the antihistamines. That's the only thing I can think of that it could be. I also have a webcam. I didn't set it up yet because most of the videos I'm doing for right now aren't going to require a webcam. Like, I'm just recording some chapters and I'm recording some Reddit videos, so it's not even going to require a webcam. But when I start doing vlogs and stuff again in a week or two, I will set up the camera and because I did get a webcam for Christmas. My mom did buy me a webcam for Christmas. It was really important to me, and I made it clear that it was really important to me. I'm gonna drop some chapters later, and I'm also still working on The Girl in the Bunny Hat. I have no idea when I'm gonna have chapter 2 of that done or up, but I am working on it. I'm working on a bunch of stuff, and I am working on other YouTube stuff, and I promise I am going to continue to work on this. I'd also like to get my reading and writing channel launched sometime this year. The link to it is in. Did I post the link? Can't remember if I posted the link or not. Anyway, I'm just gonna do like a bunch of random Reddit videos. It's not gonna be specific to any one subreddit. Um, I don't know. Do you guys prefer when I do like a bunch of different subreddits, or do you prefer when I stick to like one specific subreddit for one video? Anyway, doesn't matter. Because I want to start this Reddit video now. And like I said, I might not be recording for very long today. It does depend on when my mom is coming home. So I could record for an hour. I could record for less. I don't know. We'll see. And our first one is from r/relationship advice. My boyfriend, 33 male, said he isn't physically attracted to me, 32 female. How do I move forward? Just as the title says, we've been together for almost 3 years. Everything is good for the most part. Our families love one another. We're raising a dog and fish together. and we've been living together for about a year. I have an iPad and he uses it sometimes. No big deal, but the other day he was on Facebook and never logged out. So when I went to use my iPad again, it opened to a conversation with him and another woman. He was basically praising her looks, and as I looked at other messages, I noticed he talks like this with a lot of women. It broke my heart. When he got home, I asked him about it. We usually reach a solution easily when there's conflict, and that's something we both love about our dynamic. However, this tripped him out. I guess it could be the shock of being caught, but he screamed that he likes what he sees and he isn't physically attracted to me. We started arguing, and as a person who has always struggled with my body and loving it, also recovering eating disorder, and he knows that statement hurt. He immediately started saying he didn't mean it like that and tried to elaborate that he just wants me to be the best version of myself for myself. And that the women are just eye candy, and the way he speaks to random women on the internet is wrong and hurtful to our relationship, and he loves me, blah, 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 all of that. He says he's in love with me and thinks I'm beautiful, but would change some things about my body. I would also like to point out that we work out together 4 times a week and we have healthy habits. But I'm just not as thin, skinny, small as he would like. It's all confusing, as anyone could imagine. I feel like someone has thrown a pie in my face, basically. The last week has been weird as he's been trying to give me space and I've been quiet. I have nothing to say. The realization that he is cyber cheating on me hurts for him to say he isn't hurts, but for him to say he isn't attracted to my body after all this time is eating at me. I want to walk around the house in a robe. I don't want him to look at me too long. I rolled all the way over to the side, over to my side of the bed at night. I don't want any hugs, kisses, PDA, nothing. And usually we're all over each other. I just don't feel comfortable with my partner, and even after all the validation he has given me after the fight, I'm just not feeling it. I don't even know what to do. If anyone has been through this in some way, please let me know how I can get over this and move past it. I also don't want to fall back into unhealthy habits with my eating disorder. Okay. Honestly, this guy just doesn't respect you. One thing, he said he's not physically attracted to you, which is really rude. And why is he in a relationship with someone that he's not attracted to? Like, why would you be in a relationship with someone like that? And like you said, he's cyber cheating on you. Which he is. He's talking to other women on the internet. He's complimenting them. He's talking. I mean, not. It's not that he's talking to other women on the internet, because that could be fine depending on the context. But like the way he's talking to them. This first comment says exactly what I was thinking. Girl, respect yourself enough to leave. A man that loves you doesn't say shit like that. And someone responded, I needed to hear this today. You are good enough, pretty enough, smart enough, and valuable enough. I don't know what you have going on, but remember that you are worthy of praise, love, and recognition. You always have been and always will be enough. I know it's hard sometimes, but keep your head up. Anyone who tries to ruin that has their own issues and wants to drag you down with them. Don't let them waste your time. Wishing you a beautiful day/night. Yep, any guy who doesn't make you feel good about yourself, who doesn't care about you, and who doesn't lift you up, get away from him and find someone who does. We're not all perfect, but there are good guys out there, and there's no excuse for this. If you value someone, you aren't saying shit like this. And then someone else says, I think he got caught, didn't like the feeling, and tried to deflect by going for your weak spot. He's hoping that by attacking your self esteem, you will focus on that and not the fact that he's a lousy person and you can do better. You know none of this has anything to do with what you look like, right? That's no, there's no, if only you looked like XYZ, then he would be faithful and life would be perfect. The core issue is he needs constant validation and is seeking out attention to other women, from other women to fuel his sense of self worth. That's yeah, that's kinda true. Cheater is gonna cheat. He has shown he is selfish, cruel, deceitful, a cheater, and has no respect for you. Leave him and find someone that loves you. You deserve so much better than him. When people show you who they are, believe them. His behavior will only escalate, and whatever you do, don't get pregnant. That's a good point. Please don't get pregnant with him because that's gonna make things way more complicated. Um, This next one is from r/slash am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to be a caretaker for my autistic sister when I get older? Oh gosh. Okay. Posting this on a throwaway account. I, a 16-year-old female, have an autistic older sister who's 19. She has moderate level autism. She has trouble socializing. She has the mental age of a 10-year-old and has no friends. Growing up, my mom always encouraged me to have a good relationship with my sister in the most inconsiderate ways possible. Whenever I wanted to hang out with my friends, she always asked me to include my sister. If we had both had a fight over something, no matter if I was in the right or wrong, my parents would always take my sister's side, arguing that she's the older sibling and therefore she was always right. This is a culture thing, unfortunately, and also that I shouldn't be so mean to her because of her disability. Whenever my mom wanted me to help my sister with something and I refused, my mom would say that I'm a bad person for not wanting to help my autistic sister. I also hate how my parents always accommodate to her wants and needs, and completely disregard mine if I wanted something. My parents have always told me since age 8 to support my sister because of her autism, but it's hard to when my sister I'm in high school right now, and I'm at the age where I should start considering what I'm gonna do after high school. And my mom was so adamant that I should go to college so I could have a stable income to take care of my sister. The third or fourth time she mentioned this, I outright refused to take care of my sister. I wanted to go to college, yes, but I wanted to go so that I could possibly build a life of my own that didn't include my sister. I told my mom that if she wanted a caretaker for my sister so badly, that she should go ask some friend of hers or someone else because I didn't want a burden attached to me for the rest of my life. She called me heartless and a bad person for refusing and to consider her feelings and how her future would turn out without me. To be honest, I couldn't really care that much for my sister. Why would someone hold on to hope for a person with clearly no prospects in life? Why should I care about a person who's never done any good for me in life? My sister has always been a bitch or an annoyance to me. It feels like I only existed to be a caretaker. Am I the asshole? I don't know if this matters, but I'm from an immigrant family and I'm a first gen American. My parents immigrated to the US so we could have a better life and get the education they couldn't complete back in their home country. If anyone was wondering why my mom wanted me to go to college for the reason that I could take care of my sister, this background info can explain why. This post is in contest mode, comments are in random order, and vote scores are hidden to non-mods. I don't know what that means, but the problem here isn't with your sister. The problem here is with your parents. Because whenever parents are like this, whenever they favor one child over the other, they're literally sowing discord between the two kids. And the and hopefully sometimes the kid ends up with what I call golden child complex, which is when they've been treated so well by their parents and that their sibling is always in the wrong, that they just uh develop this complex where they're totally superior to anyone else, especially their sibling, and they're always like looking down on them and being so mean to them and like knowing that they can get away with it. Sometimes they don't develop that, which is nice, like when the siblings stay close regardless of their parents trying to divide them. Like, but honestly, when parents do this to their kids, like you're sowing discord between your kids, obviously, it's really messed up. And when you are basically having this kid, like, why do I get the feeling that you say your sister is older than you? So I kind of get the feeling that maybe your sister was diagnosed with autism at like age 3, and then your parents were immediately like, well, now we have to have a second child so that they can take care of our first child because we're going to need a caretaker for her. And, why we wouldn't want to pay any money for that. God forbid we pay money for that. God forbid we take care of our own child because, we're the parents. You did not choose to have your sister. Your parents chose to have your sister. And it sounds like they just had you to be like a free babysitter slash caretaker for your sister, which is just so fucked up and so evil. That's just really messed up. And also the fact that they always take your sister's side and they forced you to include your sister in everything. Like that's just asking for they're making things worse by doing all this. They're making things worse. They could treat you both equally. They could be nice to you. They could not want you to be a caretaker for your older sister. And then you might have a good relationship. But what's coming between you and your sister's relationship isn't your sister, it's your parents. Your parents are causing all these problems. Let's check out some of the comments. Not the asshole, you're young and want your own life free of carrying responsibilities. If you decide later on when you're more settled and mature that you wish to help your sister when your parents are no longer able to do so, fair enough. But if you want to put her in a group home out of sight, out of mind, also fair enough. Just because she is your sister does not mean you have to have a caring responsibility. Unlike your parents, it sounds like your mother is unfortunately still dealing with some guilt of having birthed a disabled child. Okay, maybe, yeah, maybe there's some guilt there. It's not an excuse, but it is an explanation, I guess. So, yeah, essentially, yeah, everything this commenter said is correct. But like, yeah, just because she's your sister doesn't make her your responsibility. That's your parents' problem. They're the ones who had a child, and just because she was diagnosed with autism, like, it's not it's not it's not their fault that she was diagnosed with autism, but obviously it's also not your fault. Like, why are they treating you like you have to take care of this? Like this is your problem, and they're pushing you onto her. Not the asshole. All your feelings are valid. Parents who force the caregiver role on a child, especially a child neglected because of the older child or because of the other child, or are horrendous and wrong. You owe your family and sister nothing. Pick a college that gives you the maximum financial aid. Then plan your future in a way that makes you and you alone as happy as you can dream. I will be thinking of you. I'm sorry you were faced with such a situation, but be true to yourself and ignore the rest. Not the asshole. Your parents need to plan for two separate lives when both of you reach adulthood. You need to recognize that you have a right to your own life and not try to place up you the responsibility of caring for your sister. Planning for that eventually is their responsibility, not yours. Not the asshole. OP, please reach out to r/sibling support. This is a community for individuals with special needs siblings seeking out advice and support from others in similar family scenarios. You're not alone in your feelings. Don't allow your parents to manipulate you into being your sister's keeper. You deserve your own life. Your parents need to step up as parents and figure out their child's care without you. Good luck. As someone who is autistic and also didn't get diagnosed with autism until like I was practically an adult. Like I was 17 when I got diagnosed. It's not anyone's fault to get diagnosed with autism. And I do have some sympathy for them because, your kid has autism and that can be kind of tough. And like, I'm pretty high functioning as far as autism goes. So she and the sister is obviously lower functioning than I am, I'd say. Like, um, so there's that. But yeah, it can be hard on the parents. Like, I understand that my autism isn't exactly easy for my mom to deal with sometimes, you know? And since we've been living together, it's definitely been difficult for both of us because of my autism. And I really do appreciate my mom for making for making a lot of sacrifices for me, not just in the past, but like right now. Like, she's really helping me out by letting me, live here and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, it definitely isn't easy to have a child with special needs, but you chose to have a kid. The thing about having a kid is that anything could happen. Like, just because you have a kid doesn't mean they're going to be particularly healthy. They could develop things later. And even if they're healthy when they're a baby, it doesn't mean they're not going to develop something later in life. Or, they could get into a car accident and be wheelchair bound. Or they could have a degenerative disease that comes around, years or decades later. Like, it's not always just cut dry that you're going to have a healthy kid and there's going to be nothing wrong with it. There's usually going to be something wrong with it. Like, I don't want to say wrong with them, but it's like, they're not going to be perfectly perfect and healthy and everything. Like, like I don't know how to say it without sounding like an asshole. So anyway, this next one's from r/relationship advice. Oh gosh. My I'm 45 male and my wife, a 45 female, is texting with the man she had an affair with, is communicating my discomfort with the situation equivalent to an ultimatum. My wife has recently been texting with the person who she had an affair with. I'm having a hard time with it. Throw away with a little bit of backstory. My wife and I, both in our mid 40s, have two kids together and a generally happy life. We separated briefly about a decade ago after she had an affair with her boss. We reconciled after about a year apart, and we have been together ever since. We have a good relationship overall, have had some ups and downs, but are fairly open about everything, and definitely love each other. Part of the reason that helped us reconcile is that she transferred out of her office shortly after the affair happened. About 2 years ago, he was transferred back to her current office, and they have been working together again. Recently, I've noticed they've been texting a lot. I've been told it's mostly professional, but they are friends. They go out for staff drinks together. They give each other rides to events. They text on weekends, work related or otherwise. She's told me they are friends. She enjoys his company. He's happily married, and I would get along with him if I got to know him, which I've refused to do. We've grown a lot over the years. We trust and love each other, but I've been down this road before, and I'm having a hard time with it. I've communicated this to her with mixed results. She insists they're just colleagues and friends, and I'm overreacting. We're pretty open and generally accept we don't tell each other what the other can and cannot do, or whom they can be friends with. When I tell her that I can't handle how close they're becoming again, and it's fucking me up a little, she tells me it seems like I'm giving her an ultimatum. Any advice is appreciated. OP, you should be giving her an ultimatum. Not only did she cheat on you, which if I was you, I wouldn't have stayed in the first place. I would have left after she cheated. But now she's friends with the guy who she cheated on you with. No way. Like, no, I would put an ultimatum. You should be putting an ultimatum on her. You should be saying, like, you're not allowed to be friends with this guy. Like, it's like, okay, fine, we don't tell the other what we can or cannot do, but it's different when you know she's had an affair with this guy in the past, and now she claims they're just friends. Oh my god, she's obviously gearing up to cheat again, or she already is cheating again, and she's completely betraying you by being friends with this guy, and I'm guessing they're more than friends. I'm guessing they're more than friends. Him being happily married has nothing to do with anything. Obviously, he didn't have a problem cheating before, like being a homewrecker before, and he was probably married or at least dating. Like, I don't know how long it's been. Oh, 2 years ago, he was transferred back to a current office. Yeah, okay, so it's only been 2 years, so he was probably with this woman, unless he got with a woman and then got married to her in under 2 years. So, like, I mean, it's possible, but is it though? I don't know. You are underreacting. No way in hell should you be allowing this relationship between them to continue. Affair Part 2 is coming soon if it hasn't already started. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's already going on. And clearly he had no problem being a homewrecker. Just because he's happily married, that's not a reason to why he wouldn't cheat. He had no problem cheating with a woman before. I don't like what? It's Let's even entertain what she is seemingly gaslighting him into accepting that the relationship is entirely platonic. There is zero chance of anything happening between them. The affair is ancient history and has no effect on their current interactions. She's still way out of line. If I was in her position and I truly ever wanted to repair the damage I've done, I'd do nearly anything my partner has to help them feel more secure. Leaving a job to get away from the person I cheated on them with wouldn't even register as an inconvenience, let alone not texting them and being all chummy. The fact that she thinks she has standing to question OP's insecurities around this when she created those insecurities is unconscionable. Yeah, the fact that she thinks she has standing to question OP's insecurities around this when she created those insecurities is unconscionable. This feels like getting crushed by a hydraulic press. Thanks for writing these words. She wants them to be friends so that he trusts her affair partner as well, and then his guard is even further lowered, makes the affair easier to get away with. 100%, this is some Machiavellian shit. Fictional jacket to get heated on that. You've apparently been cool with them working together again for about 2 years, getting drinks together, etc. I could never. You've been way more forgiving and accommodating than necessary and than I would have been. The fact is, it's insane that she's now also essentially demanding you be friends with the man who she cheated on you with, and also for you to be okay with her hanging out with and texting with all the time. She's got a lot of audacity and is a self-centered, manipulative, greedy little pig. She's going to cheat on you again if she hasn't started again already. You don't have to be her doormat. Please consider sticking up for yourself and what you need. Same guy, still friends, text often, feelings are there, my man. He was the reason your marriage almost finished the first time. If you think seeing him, professionally or otherwise, is still okay, then you need to end this now. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Alright, there's a bunch more, but let's move on to another one. Am I the asshole for accidentally catching my brother's girlfriend in a lie? This is from r slash am I the asshole. This might be a bit long, so I'll put a too long didn't read at the end. I, a 19 female, have a brother, 24 male, that I'll call Liam. Earlier this year, he started dating a girl he met at his climbing class that I'll call Emma, 26 female. They've been together for 4 months, and this weekend he decided to introduce her to us. They arrived yesterday and are staying until tonight. She's a really nice person, and we got along well. Then at one point, my dad asked her what she did in life, and she said she was a lawyer. I was super interested because I'm currently studying law and I've wanted to be a lawyer since I was maybe 10, so I was very excited to ask her questions about it. I asked about cases that she had, how she studied to become a lawyer, what her days looked like, and many more things. I might have been a little overenthusiastic and annoying, but I didn't realize it at the time and was just excited to get to ask someone questions about my dream job. But at one point, she said something that seemed incoherent to me. The details might be long and boring, but basically she just said something that isn't technically possible. So I was curious and a bit confused, and I asked her how that was possible because I just thought she's the professional, so she must know better than me. But as she tried to explain it, she just said more incoherent and impossible things. It was kind of like if someone was quoting things from Grey's Anatomy to doctors, if you see what I mean. So I asked more about it to understand, and that's when she admitted that she wasn't actually a lawyer and worked at a bookstore. She told us that she was very sorry for lying and then left the table, and my brother followed her. My parents kind of scolded me for being so intrusive, and when my brother came back, he was a bit angry. He started telling me that I was wrong for interrogating her, and that I made her uncomfortable, and that she had lied because she was embarrassed about her job, and I just made her more embarrassed. Now he hasn't been talking to me since, and neither has Emma. I'm not sure I'm in the wrong here, but they all seem to think so. I get that me asking questions was annoying and maybe a bit too much, but I truly didn't have bad intentions. I was just excited to be able to talk about it with someone. And also, I don't understand how everyone is so okay with the fact that she lied to my brother for 4 months and then also lied to us. I get being embarrassed, but I don't know, it's still a bit weird to me. But I never meant to make her uncomfortable, and I genuinely liked her. I don't see how I'm in the wrong, but maybe I just can't see it, so please tell me so that I can have another perspective. Edit. For anyone wondering if I'm on the spectrum or neurodivergent in any way, I haven't been diagnosed with anything, but many doctors and teachers of mine have mentioned it to me. I can understand why, but I don't want to self-diagnose, obviously. I haven't been able to get tested because my parents don't believe in that stuff, but as soon as I'm fully independent, financially, and living on my own, I will get tested. Okay, cool. Not the asshole. She's a weirdo for lying about being a lawyer, and your family is weird for acting like you did anything wrong when you assumed she was the knowledgeable one and was just trying to grasp what she was saying. It's not like you were trying to catch her in a lie. She couldn't keep up with it and had to out herself to end the conversation. Info. Did your brother know she would be lying about her job and saying she's a lawyer? If he did, that's really weird considering I'd assume he knows you're studying in that field, so you'd be curious. Plus, if she knew you were studying law, pretending to be a lawyer to seem cool to you was weird as well. No, my brother didn't know that she was lying because she had also told him that she was a lawyer when they met, and he also found out it was a lie. I'm guessing she lied to him when they first met and didn't expect it to take such proportions and was kind of stuck in her lie, which I can have sympathy for, but it's still really weird. Hmm. Not the asshole. If it was a smaller lie with less wider implications, whether she is whether she has traveled to X, whether she saw Y in concert, etc., then you would be the asshole for trying to pick holes. But for her to have lied about something so big as whether or not she is a lawyer, with the other implications about her career trajectory, financial situation, her ambitions, etc., is a fairly big thing for your brother to be kept in the dark over. It might be that she was saying it just because she is wrongly embarrassed about just working in a bookstore, in which case she probably isn't a bad person. But whatever her motivation, it's not great that she has misled your brother for so long. It also begs the question, what else has she lied about it? She still wouldn't be the asshole if she had asked Emma questions about a concert she's been to, if Emma was lying about it. She was never trying to interrogate her or assume she was lying. So you're saying if Emma lied about a concert, she would be the asshole if she had asked her about a concert that she lied about? What I mean is that there are little white lies that have no real consequence, especially in the context of a person trying to find common ground and connection with their new partner's parents, and calling those out would be unnecessary. Like me saying to my new girlfriend's father, yeah, I like golf, which I don't, as a friendly throwaway comment to try and get in his good books, and then someone grilling me about golf and testing my knowledge. That would be asshole behavior, in my opinion. Yes. Or it could be someone is delighted to have another person to talk to about their hobbies. How is that being an asshole? It'd be more like if you told me you were golfing all the time, slash, it's your hobby, lol. Yeah, I have to hard disagree with that. If someone mentions they like something, it's asshole behavior to ask more about it. No, that's normal behavior. How do you ever get to know someone to any depth if you never talk about anything past the superficial? Also, lying about things like that is just stupid. It's a lot of risk for little reward. If they are more into the subject than you think and start asking deeper questions, you get caught in a lie that was unnecessary. Also, if you feel like you need to lie about small things for someone to like you, that's pretty sad. Alright. Next. Next, next, next post. This one is from a new subreddit that's very similar to r slash am I the asshole. It's very, very similar to r slash am I the asshole and other similar subreddits. It's called Am I the Bad Apple? Am I the bad apple for kicking a minor out of my house? I, a 34 female, am a mom to a 14-year-old daughter, Lily. Recently, your friend, Mia, who's also 14 female, who lives just a few minutes away, came over to hang out. At first, everything seemed fine. They were laughing and chatting in Lily's room, and Mia has been over before without any issues. Little did I know this hangout was about to go south. It started during lunch. My husband, Lily, Mia, and I were eating a homemade pasta dish I had made. Out of nowhere, Mia insulted my cooking and said the food tasted bland. I felt offended but decided to brush it off. Then Mia turned to Lily and said something like, You know, you'd actually be so much prettier if you got a nose piercing. It would totally balance out your face. Lily was visibly upset and snapped back immediately. Mia just rolled her eyes and told her it wasn't that deep. As if that wasn't bad enough, Mia kept making passive aggressive comments about the way we decorated our home. At that point, I was losing my patience. I warned her firmly that if she was going to be behaving this way and treating my family like this, I was going to kick her out. Final straw came when Mia noticed a family photo on the wall and said, Lily, your mom must have had you when she was like a teenager. No wonder she's so uptight. She missed out on life. I was livid. I stood up and said, That's enough. Grab your things and call your mom. You're leaving. Mia looked stunned and started crying, saying I was overreacting. I didn't care, and I told her she could wait on the lawn for her mom, but that she needed to leave my house. Later, Mia's mom called me furious. She claimed I had no right to kick her out like that. She accused me of being heartless and said that teenagers joke around like that. She also told me that Mia was just having a bad day. My husband agreed with me and said I did the right thing by kicking Mia out. He pointed out that if we let her stay, it would have sent the message that it's okay to insult people in their own home. Now I'm questioning if I overreacted. Am I the bad apple here for kicking her out of my house? Uh, what she said teenagers joke like that, but like, okay, but it wasn't a joke because Lily wasn't laughing. She didn't find it funny. She was upset. And it was very rude what she said to Lily. Like, it was clearly a backhanded compliment. It was totally like rude and really mean. Like, basically insulting her. And then when she was upset about it, Mia just didn't care. That's not what a friend does. She's so mean. She's not a friend to Lily. She's just mean to Lily. She's not even a friend. And she's being so rude to you guys too. Not the bad apple. Mia's mother set her up for this by not disciplining her. Yeah, exactly. I never go straight to blaming the parents because I did meet my dad's parents once and they were amazing. Like, they're the complete opposite of my dad, so like I don't know where my dad got his craziness from. It wasn't from his parents. So I never want to go straight to blaming the parents. But in this case, the fact that Mia's mom was just like, "Oh yeah, teenagers joke like that." No, that's not like no, you have to say something to her. You have to discipline your daughter. Fuck. Like, okay, not the asshole. Mia's mother's payback is that she has to live with the monster she's created. One can only imagine and hope how insulting she is to her own mother. And it sounds like maybe you have to have a serious talk with your own daughter to let her know why you did and to let her know not to get any ideas about copying that behavior. Mia was created by a monster. Kids aren't born bad, they are made that way. Okay, no. Not all monsters are created, but this one definitely was. There you go. Not all monsters are created. Some are born. She's finding out the world at large isn't going to put up with this stuff. Unfortunately, the old saying "no child is born bad" isn't true. Some do show a mental illness in babyhood and are never caught in time to prevent the horrors they commit by age 4 and older. There are killers who start before they can go to school. This fortunately is very rare. Alright, I kind of want to know more of this subreddit, so let's read a couple more stories from here because I want to know. Am I the bad apple for making my husband's stepchild cry? I, female 32, am married to a 40-year-old man. It is a second marriage for both of us. My husband and I don't have any children, and don't have any children together. Technically, he doesn't have any biological children. When he was married to his first wife, she got pregnant by her affair partner. The affair partner split and became M and his now ex are still married and separated. We're still married but separated. M automatically was considered the legal father of the child, a 17-year-old female named L. I'm just going to call them Mark and Lily to make it easier. Mark contested this, had DNA ran, which proved he isn't her father, but the affair partner couldn't be found, so the judge upheld the ruling that Mark remained on the birth certificate for Lily. The ex, who is Lily's mom, also applied for welfare benefits that my husband had to pay back along with court ordered child support. My husband has paid for this kid from the time she was born until now, and she knows he's not her dad. It's destroyed our lives. My husband makes 3 figures a year with commissions and bonuses, so we should be living well, but we aren't because he has to pay support, health, dental, and vision insurance for her, school expenses, etc. A few weeks before Christmas, my husband was offered a trip to another state for a business trip, and he accepted. I was also invited as his add-on because I'm his spouse. The company made it clear no children were allowed, no one under 18. Well, he had to tell Lily and her mom because this trip would have intervened with the court order for Lily to see him. Lily is a spoiled brat. The mom's parents give her everything she wants. When Lily found out she couldn't go, she threw a massive tantrum, started blaming me. I lost it. I told her to blame her mom if she wanted to blame anyone because her mom had forced us to take care of Lily when we had no responsibility to Lily whatsoever. I told Lily as soon as she turned 18 that would be the last she heard from us. Lily started saying Mark wasn't just my husband, he was also her father, and I told her, no, he's not. Your mom's affair partner is. Go find him. Lily started crying. Most say I was right to tell Lily off, but some say I was too cruel. Wow, I'd probably sue in civil court to have mom pay some back with paternity fraud. I'd also find the affair partner and sue him. But is it considered paternity fraud when the court already knew he wasn't the father but couldn't get hold of the affair partner? Not the asshole. She is 17. She should know the truth, and she is old enough to understand that she cannot go on an adult only business trip. Her mother and family have failed that child. Someone needs to set her straight. The judge failed that child and OP's husband. Effing nuts. You here in the States, your husband, well, the legal father, could have gone to court and signed away parental rights. He would have had to still pay child support, but there would be no visitation, relationship, and he would have zero decision making on how she was raised. It sounds as though his ex just wanted to punish him. One can't sign away rights unless there is someone, a second person along with the custodial parent, who is willing to accept responsibility. Not the asshole. I cannot believe the situation your husband was placed in. I'm glad it's almost over. Alright. I'm gonna go back to my safe posts and try and find something else. Mind the asshole for telling my sister her baby isn't a real baby. I, a 26-year-old female, got engaged to my fiance on January 1st. I was very excited to share with my family, of course, and everyone congratulated me and my fiance. I sent a picture of my ring to the family group chat as well as on my Instagram, and everyone has been commenting on the fact I got a very big diamond. My diamond is a lab grown diamond that is just under 5 carats. I specifically asked for a lab diamond as I believe they're more ethical, as you never know if a mined diamond is a blood diamond. My sister, a 31 female, was very excited for me, but as soon as I showed her my ring, her mood changed, and she was telling me that it was too flashy and that it's not practical, and that it's too trendy and not timeless. My ring is a pear-shaped solitaire ring with a Marquise band, and I love it. My sister then told me that there was no way my fiance could afford that ring. True, if it was a mine diamond, it would be 10 times the price, and my fiance is a second-year resident, and that I should test to see if it's a real diamond. I replied that since it's a lab diamond, it was a lot less expensive. She then proceeded to tell me how lab diamonds aren't real diamonds, and since they're made in a lab, it doesn't hold the same sentimental value. My sister's ring is a small carat mine diamond, and it's beautiful. I never said anything bad about her ring, and it suits her. I tried to laugh it off, and I told her that I asked for a lab diamond and I don't want a mine diamond. When I said that, she started yelling at me that it wasn't even a real diamond in the first place and that it was grown in a lab, not the ground. That's when I said, by her logic, my niece isn't a real baby then, because she was an IVF baby and grown in a lab too. My sister and her husband have had a lot of issues conceiving, as my sister had some complications with endometriosis. Their IVF journey was really tough, and they had multiple rounds and attempts, and one miscarriage, but finally got lucky and had my very healthy niece last year. I know my sister had a hard time conceiving. That was kind of the point I was making. My niece started in a lab, but she has beautiful meaning behind her life too. When I made the comment that my niece wasn't a real baby because she was an IVF baby, my sister started crying over the phone. Her husband then called me and berated me and told me I was insensitive and couldn't understand the depths of her emotional turmoil, and that I shouldn't have started a fight over a ring. He even said I was ableist. I have endometriosis too. My mom says it's not a big deal, but I should let my sister cool off. I usually babysit my niece pretty often, but my sister hasn't been answering my calls for a week. My fiance says although I probably shouldn't have said that, I was justified. I didn't mean it seriously. I know my niece is a real baby, and I adore her and spoil her all the time. Am I the asshole? The consensus for this is everyone sucks. Everyone sucks here. Sister is the asshole for being so transparently jealous, and you are absolutely the asshole for using your sister's conception issues to try and score points in a sibling argument. Oh, and your mom is also the asshole for thinking that isn't a big deal. I feel sorry for your dad. I feel sorry for your dad. I truly do. Nah, L take. OP wasn't trying to score points. She was illustrating why her sister's logic is foolish and they shouldn't be fighting. It wasn't some random dig to win a squabble. Her sister is trash and decided this was a massive blow to her ego because she wanted to fight and harm OP, but OP had logic and calmness on her side, so her sister didn't affect her. OP's fine, so is the mom. Edit, I'll adjust the replies here from now on. It's astounding how many people replying don't understand OP was making the point the child is real much like the diamonds, so they shouldn't be fighting because it's dumb. And the real reason the sister is so angry is because she cannot comprehend a universe where it's not a competition, so is devastated OP won in her eyes. I can only assume these people applying are very insecure with low emotional intelligence and believe that if a topic is personal to them, it automatically means it's an attack without caring about the content behind it, within it. OMG, I'm an IVF kid after years of painful infertility, and I think OP's logic is spot on. She is saying that her sister's reasoning is deeply flawed, not that the baby isn't real. FFS. Anyway, yeah, it would have been better for OP to say something like, your concern is noted, how about the cold snap we're having? But I think this is deep into not the asshole territory. I think engagement rings are archaic stupidity, and diamonds are just sparkly overrated carbon, but when someone excitedly shows me theirs, you know what I do? I say how pretty it is and wish them happiness because who cares what I think? The moment is about them. You are very sensible, and I'm a diamond lover. I just understand and respect your opinion. I'm also very happy for you having your baby. Uh, I'm gonna go with OP's not the asshole. The sister is the asshole because she could have just kept her mouth shut about the diamond. Ugh, my computer needs to be plugged in. Anyway, but yeah, the sister could have sister could have kept her mouth shut about the diamond and like not said anything, but instead she has to say something and be like, "Oh, that's not a real diamond," which is just so bitchy. Like, shut up. You can just compliment the ring. Who cares if it's a real diamond or not? And even if it's not a real diamond, okay. So, like, even if it's not a real diamond, it's what OP wanted. Like, the point is that it makes her happy. Like, for example, I don't like hairless cats. I think they look weird, but I'm not gonna bash on someone else's choice of pet because, like, okay, I don't want to have a hairless cat, but it makes you happy, so I don't care if you want to have a pet. And there are some pets that I would never keep, which I know it seems like I like all animals, and I do. There are just some that I would rather not keep as a pet because enjoying an animal and like petting a rabbit when I go to the shelter or whatever, that's one thing. Having it as a pet is a completely different thing with a bunch of responsibility that I don't want. But like, okay, maybe I don't want a pet rabbit, but if someone out there has a pet rabbit, I think that's awesome. I think if you like it and it makes you happy, then good for you. I'm gonna just shut my mouth about any of the bad stuff I have to say about taking care of a rabbit because it's not my rabbit and I don't have to deal with the responsibility of taking care of it. So I'm just not going to say anything. Um, so, like, as long as you're taking care of it properly and not putting it in danger, whatever. It's not my place to say anything if you want to go with a hairless cat as a pet. I don't like them personally, but, I'm not going to be like, ew, your cat is so ugly to people who have hairless cats. And it's not that I particularly think they're ugly either. Like, I don't mind them. I just wouldn't personally choose them as a pet, mostly because I want my cats to be furry. If I want something that doesn't have any fur, I've got my snake. So, I've got reptiles that are supposed to not have any fur. Cats, in my opinion, are supposed to have fur. But if you want to have a hairless cat as a pet, then I'm not gonna say anything bad to you if you send me a picture of your hairless cat and you're like, "Hey, look at this hairless cat I just got." You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say something nice. I'm gonna say, good for you. I'm happy for you, instead of being like, ooh, your cat is ugly, because that's not nice. That's mean. And I'm not gonna say, your cat isn't a real cat because real cats have fur, which is essentially what the sister is doing here. And it's just so rude. And yeah, OP is just trying to make a point. So maybe I'll say OP deserves, I don't know, 0 out of 5 buttholes, maybe 0.5 out of 5 buttholes, but the sister gets 2.5 out of 5 buttholes for this. Anyway, I have to take a break because I really have to use the bathroom, and I might record some more tomorrow, or this might be it for the video. I'll decide when I get back. Hey guys, I'm back for part two. And my pills just got delivered because my support worker can't take me out today, and I have a grocery delivery, but that's happening later. I set it up so it would be between 3 and 4 o'clock. So perfect timing because now I have a couple hours to record. So I'm gonna just hang on. Hang on. Um, so I wanna go and we're gonna start. Um, I'm gonna start with um the ones that the post that I saved today. Sorry, I'm having. And this one's from r/, am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my pregnant sister that I wanted nothing more to do with her baby shower? I'm a male in my late 30s, and my youngest sister, in her early 30s, is pregnant with her first child. The family is thrilled for her, as she and her partner have been trying for a long time to get pregnant. When she announced it, she mentioned that she was having a baby shower, and my sister and I offered to help out where we can. For some reason, she took that as a my brother said he would pay for the baby shower and drafted a guest list of 120 people. What? I decided to I decided to text her one day and ask what her budget was, and I heard nothing for at least a day. My other sister and my mom mentioned that I had said to her that I would pay for the whole thing. That was never something I had offered to do. She never addressed it with me directly and said that she and her partner would pay for everything. I took charge of creating the Evite registration site, driving an hour away to book the hall to add extra time to the reservation because their archaic system doesn't allow people to book online. Agree to pick up food the day of answer every inquiry from her guests who've registered in the system. My husband offered to help out with the games for the shower. We saw my sister last week, and she texted me on Monday saying if he doesn't want to do the games, then tell me so I can give it to someone else. I finally messaged back and said that I thought her message was a little harsh, and if she was trying to imply something, that she should just say it out loud. She then responded by saying, "Fine, I'm disappointed by how much work you've put into this shower." What? Wait, she's disappointed by how much work or the lack of work because there's no lack of work. Like he's put in a lot of work. I'm disappointed by how much work you've put into this shower. What? He's done so much for this shower. Are you kidding me? That's when I lost it. I was objective and listed everything I had contributed so far. I also pointed out that I had never agreed to pay for a baby shower with 120 guests. I don't know much about them, but I assume they were intimate events in someone's house and not something the size of a wedding. I had less people at my own wedding. In addition to this, she complains about other people in her life to my mom and sister about how no one is pitching in. She asked my mom what she was contributing to the shower. My 70-year-old retired mother was taken aback by that comment and offered to cook food for 120 people. She's been so ungrateful throughout this entire process and has since uninvited me to her shower and sarcastically said, "Enjoy your 40th," and has removed me from my sibling group chat. Wow. This first comment, not the asshole. She sounds toxic and unhinged. You did more than most people would do. When nobody needs 120 people at a baby shower or a hall for it. That's what I was thinking. That's crazy. That's like the size of a wedding, like OP said. Your sister is greedy and attention seeking. Hopefully, pregnancy has just caused temporary insanity. Create an alternative sibling group chat without her. Explain what happened to your mother and siblings. Support your mom if you can, but not at the expense of your mental health. Enjoy your 40th and don't sweat missing the baby shower. When she comes crawling back, listen and decide whether her apology is enough. Oh my god. I'm just realizing I'm gonna be 40 in 10 years. Well, not even 10 years. More like 9.5 years. My birthday is in July, and it's already almost the end of January. We're like at the tail end of January. It's really close. Not the asshole. Honestly, this is a massive overstep on her part. 120 people for a baby shower? That's insane. You've done way more than most people would, and she's acting entitled and ungrateful. Creating a group chat without her sounds like a solid move. Don't waste your time stressing over her petty drama. If she ever comes back around, make her prove she's truly sorry before even considering letting her back in. Enjoy your 40th without her. Seriously? 120 people? I'm 37 weeks pregnant and my shower is actually this Saturday. We have like 15 to 20 people coming. LOL. Like, I can't even imagine having that many people at a shower. Our baby will be here a week from tomorrow. I don't have the time, patience, or sanity to have a baby shower with 120 people, with or without help. I mean, I wouldn't mind the diapers, gifts, and baby things from that many people because these babies are expensive AF LMAO, but I can't people on my best days, let alone this pregnant and exhausted. Maybe that's why OP's sister lost her mind. She's overdone it and doesn't know how to or can't backtrack and is blaming everyone other than herself. Either way, not the asshole OP at all. Whether it's hormone related or not, she knows she's in the wrong. Even when I'm being bitchy because of my hormones, at some point I catch myself like, why am I being such an asshole today? What's wrong with me? We all know when we're being like that. The difference is whether or not someone has the balls to admit they're wrong and apologize, or if they double down and act like a bigger asshole. Sister is definitely being an asshole. I remember 37 weeks. First time I had dinner with my husband and my parents as the most crowded interaction. Baby decided to arrive the next day. The second time I spent that time with my husband and little one, just exhausted and needing solitude. Baby decided on week 38. Alright. Boop, 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 boop. R/relationship advice. My boyfriend, male 28, doesn't seem to be able to get over my female 25 past. Just a bit of background. We've been together for just over a year. We've been very open about our past hookups, relationships, etc. when we started dating, including times when both of us had been a bit promiscuous. Around a year ago, I was scrolling back to find an old photo on my phone. My boyfriend sat beside me, had sent a nude I'd sent to a guy I dated years ago and questioned it. I was honest and owned up to having not gone through my photos to delete anything appropriate that I shouldn't still have. He said he hadn't either, but was sure he hadn't held on to any nudes or nude photos he had sent to others. No, I didn't have any inappropriate photos of other people. I was meaning more just if I had general photos with an ex or something. I had brushed the situation off initially, but after him mentioning it again, I took it more seriously, like apologizing for the situation, so I felt like I'd had been dealt with it had been dealt with. It was brought up a few more times after this, in which he apologized, but he didn't think I was that sorry or got his side of the situation. I've continued to apologize and have been brought to tears over the situation. I feel as though he can't get over my past. He has held on to that photo situation and how I had at one point been a girl that he wouldn't have considered girlfriend material due to my behavior with guys in the past, even though this had all happened years before meeting him. The past 2 months, he's brought it up at least 3 times. Every argument over it ends with me in tears, apologizing for my past, as I do feel awful about it and how it's affecting my current relationship. My argument is that he just doesn't like my actions and how he can't get it out of his head that I used to be promiscuous and that I kept an image I'd sent to another guy. What would you do in this situation? Every other aspect of our relationship is lovely, at least I'd say so, but I have a funny feeling he is really, really impacted by this, and it is a regular thought in his head. You sent nudes previously. He sent and received nudes previously. What's the difference? This isn't a question of your morals and values not aligning. This is a question of your boyfriend being a hypocritical bellend. Stop apologizing and tell him to fuck off. He doesn't still have them on his phone in a whole different relationship. One, that we know of. Two, it's a photo of herself. Who cares? It's her own naked body, not a picture of another guy's junk. Unless she's holding up a sign that says, for insert X name. I don't think it's a huge issue. You were apologizing for a photo you sent to an old boyfriend way before you knew this current twit. I'm confused. I've heard of this before, but more in relation to body counts. OP doesn't need to keep apologizing. Boyfriend needs to stop using an apparently single incident as a bludgeon against her. It might be time to ask him in all seriousness why he's so fixated on this romantic prehistory. Sounds more like he wants to punish her for having had a life before these two met. And frankly, OP needs to put an end to it because he doesn't sound like he's going to let it go. The he didn't think I was that sorry is quite worrying. This guy actually believes he's been wronged, and he's convinced OP that this is true. Exactly, it was never any of his business to begin with. Even if there was, even if you wanted to do something about it, even if you wanted to fix it, what are you supposed to do exactly? Like, go back and build a time machine and go back in time and, like, unsend the picture? I don't understand. This next one's from r slash am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not paying my parents' mortgage after my sister moved in? Throwaway account. For the past 8 years, I, a 32-year-old male, have been paying my parents' property taxes and mortgage. They are retired and have very little retirement savings because they put all of their money into my sister's, who's a 29 female, and my education. We both went to top universities and found successful jobs afterwards. I felt like I owed my parents for all they sacrificed for me, so it was a no-brainer to help them retire with no financial stress. My parents did not consult my sister about splitting these costs with me. Instead, the agreement was that I would get a larger share of the house. Fast forward to now, my sister unfortunately lost her job last year and as a result doesn't have much savings. She moved in with my parents to save money while she looks for a job. I recently found out that my sister pitched staying permanently in my parents' house and my parents agreed. I was furious at this because I had been paying for the house with the understanding that it would be sold and I would get a larger share. It is very likely my sister never sells the house and instead raises her eventual family there. Ugh. Because the original agreement with my parents changed, I stopped paying for the mortgage, leaving it up to my sister to take care of if she's taking over the house. My parents are furious with me, saying I'm too money obsessed and should be continuing to help the family while my sister is in a tough spot, still looking for a job. Instead, they are promising that eventually my sister will pay me out for my share of the house, plus whatever else I contributed over 8 years. I turned that offer down because there's no real guarantee this will happen, and I don't trust my sister to follow through financially. I may be the asshole for taking such a cynical stance and leaving my family in financial stress, but I feel like I was already burned once through verbal agreements, and I don't want to get burned again. Edit. Am I the asshole? Edit. Uh, Edit. My sister is fully opposed to selling the house because of the sentimental value. I'm not on the deed because when you put someone else on the deed in CA, California, your house is reassessed and it will double our current property tax. There are also some implications to my parents' social security payments if I do so. I wish I got something in writing, but I felt like an asshole asking for something like that from my family. It was naive of me to think that way. Sorry, one sec. Okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was naive of me to think that way. So for the whole thing, you didn't ask your parents to put money in your education fund or in your sister's education fund. Like, you'd say they sacrificed a lot for you, but just raising a child is not, unless you specifically asked your parents to do that for you. Like, that was their choice. So you say you owe them for all they sacrificed for you. I think that's ridiculous. I think parents being like, "You owe me because I raised you when you were a child." Okay, it was your choice to have a child or children, and it was your choice to raise me, and like, uh, children can't exactly raise themselves unless you're fucking Matilda or something. But like, yeah, you don't owe them anything for that, first of all. It's ridiculous when parents say that kind of thing. Like, you owe me because I raised you, whatever. No, that's not correct. But like, I wish I got something in writing. Yeah, of course. But I feel like an asshole asking for something like that from my family. Honestly, you should always get it in writing. I say if you can get it in writing, you should get it in writing. They should always be giving it to you in writing. You should always get it in writing. Like, I don't wanna, yeah, whether they're your family or not, doesn't matter. You can't really trust them just because they're family. Like, in my experience, you can trust family the least. So, I mean, I know my experience is vastly different from a lot of other people's. Like, a lot of people do have families that they can trust and count on. Not me. But anyway, blah blah blah. My sister is fully opposed to selling the house because of the sentimental value. Not the asshole. This is marked as not the asshole. Uh, um, I keep getting texts. Just 8 years is a long time to be paying a mortgage with only a verbal agreement. Even if you are or were on great terms, always get things in writing. You could cut your losses here. It is unlikely you'll see your money back. If the house is big enough for sister and potential future family to live in, why didn't your parents sell and downsize if it's just the two of them? They need to anyway if you cut they need to anyway if you cut them off, not the asshole. Yeah, ridiculous. You should do that. You should always get things in writing. I agree with that. And you could cut your losses here. I don't know. I think OP's not the asshole for choosing to do this. So I'm distracted by these texts. Just give me a second to deal with this. I'll be right. I'm back. I'm back. This is all around poor financial planning. Your parents should put the house into a trust. Also, even if you are morally right, if their house gets foreclosed on and you lose all your investment and your parents get thrown on the street, who exactly does that help? Putting a house with a mortgage that isn't getting paid into a trust won't stop foreclosure. Borrowing a sale to OP or a written ownership agreement and being put on the title, OP should immediately stop paying mortgage and taxes. Um, this is an updated post. Hang on. Alright, this next one is from r/relationship advice. I just had the update saved, but luckily in the update it had a link to the original post. My parents, a 60-year-old female and 53-year-old male, asked me, 27-year-old female, to do them a financial favor I was not comfortable with. Told them I was worthless to them when I said I needed to think about it first. How to address. Don't give them the money and go no contact, because they're awful to you. Like telling you you're worthless just because you won't give them money. Today, my mom and stepdad called and asked me to do them a financial favor that made me feel really uncomfortable. I told them I needed time to think about it and research it first. My mom became angry and said that if I said no, it would be a really big problem for her. I said I just needed to look into it first, and she hung up on me. I could hear my stepdad in the background, so I called him a few minutes later, hoping for more context. He was also pissed and, among other things, told me I was ungrateful for not doing my mom one favor after all she has done for me, and that I must be bad at my job because I clearly panic at the slightest concern. I was completely calm, if confused and affronted, for the record. Frustrated at being berated, I ended the call. I texted them a few minutes later and offered some proposed other solutions over text. They responded, "You're worthless to us at this stage, just let it go." I texted back and said, "Okay, just trying to help." They have not responded or reached out. since then. What should my next step be? I don't want this to permanently damage our relationship, but at the same time, I feel that they really overreacted to me, saying I needed time to look into it more, and that I am hurt that they told me I am worthless to them now. Yeah, you say I don't want this to permanently damage our relationship. Your relationship's already damaged if this is how your parents are acting to you after 27 years of raising you and loving you, clearly, but they don't really love you if they're treating you like this. Edit, there isn't much context there really isn't much more context than the financial situation itself. The situation they are in is a little complicated and also may involve some potentially identifying information if I share it, so I don't want to share details on the internet. My question isn't whether the financial ask is okay because I don't want to do it, and I think I've decided that. My question is whether I can work it out with them, without doing what they have asked. I can share some points about the nature of it, though. Um, I am not the only option. I gave them multiple alternatives that I see as safer. If I did what they asked, it may be fine, but it could also expose me to liability, and I think the safer options should be explored first. They really did drop this on me out of the blue. I had no warning and was completely taken aback. How they treat you is absolutely unacceptable. This is the first comment. And it genuinely hurts my heart that you're trying so hard to save this relationship with them when they're clearly just awful. I don't know what this favor is, but I have a feeling it involved you giving them money you'd never be getting back. Don't let them emotionally blackmail you into giving them anything. Getting a loan for them in her name is my guess. These parents are trying to scam her. If it was a normal financial favor and she said I need to think about it, they would have said thank you for considering it. Please let us know as soon as possible. Instead, they flip out and call her worthless. Okay, she's worthless. She's got no money for them to scam. Bye. Like, yeah, of course. The minute they flipped out because you wanted to think about it, the answer would be a firm and loud no. Exactly my thoughts. You have to look out for you first. They obviously could care less about you and your financial liquidity. They only see you as an ATM machine. I'm gonna piggyback on your response. Hell nah. Hell nah to which one? To oh, I guess to giving them the money. OP needs to lock their credit down and put passwords in. They may just do it and say, well, we needed it. Golden. Exactly. That's what I'm all thinking. They're telling you your only value to them is financial. They're emotionally blackmailing you and guilt tripping you so you'll cave. Don't. Let them go. They don't care about you or your feelings. They don't care if their request makes you uncomfortable. Don't reach out to them. If they keep asking you, no is a complete sentence. Added to this, they are adults and their financial mismanagement is not your problem. They've lived through the best years for growth and have opportunities following generations can only dream about. If they need help, it's not cash, it's education. Okay. It said there was a reply to that, but when I pressed it, it didn't work. Anyway, do they want you to take out a loan in your name? Look, people who act like your parents just did are manipulators. They reacted the way they did because they want you to feel guilty and fall in line. And that behavior is enough to tell me that what they're asking of you is very wrong and potentially damaging for you. I don't want this to permanently damage our relationship. The damage started the moment they treated you this way. What's more, if you give in and do what they ask, it will become a pattern of behavior and it will happen again. That's right, it's setting a dangerous precedent for the future. Part of being an adult is the shitty reality that doing the right thing can have negative consequences. Your choice then becomes whether to do the right thing, knowing you'll suffer, or to do the wrong thing and become part of the problem. If you do this, you will be enabling your parents' behavior, and that will have its own negative impact on your life. Parents who treat you like this are not good parents. Saying no to them doesn't make you a bad person, and if that damages your relationship, that's because they're making the choice to hurt you for not falling into line. She's 27 years old, and if she co-signs a loan for them, it would destroy her future. She might not be looking to buy a house now, but if she wants to buy a house when she's 35, her credit will be wrecked by these people. They are successfully using extreme pressure tactics that often go along with scams because this is a scam. And obviously, it already is a pattern of behavior because OP is falling for it completely. Please lock down your credit as soon as possible. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's really easy these days. You can go right to the individual credit bureaus and click freeze on the website. Then when you need to unfreeze it, you can for 5 minutes. Awesome. Yep, I just keep my credit frozen and unfreeze when I need it. It can be a bit annoying at times, but the peace of mind is well worth it. It's too bad that you have to actively freeze your credit rather than it being the default. I tell everyone I know to do this. Stand your ground. I have a feeling this favor will have lifelong financial repercussions for you because of their shitty planning. Not the asshole. At their ages, financial favors shouldn't be a factor, and to have insults hurled your way because you were taking time to process and consider their request is unacceptable. You absolutely have your justification at this point to decline their request, especially if they're not giving you all the details regarding the matter, or you have an indication they're not being completely transparent and honest. Never let anyone come to you for financial help and assistance and then turn around in the very same breath and insult you. Also, don't allow other people's problems to become your problems. Whatever is going on, you are not responsible for resolving their issues or bailing them out because they made risky or reckless choices. OP, your response was 1 million T, appropriate and correct. Any rational, responsible adult needs to run the numbers, check their budget, research the transaction being requested, and anyone who loves, values, and respects you would want you to make intelligent, informed decisions. Someone is either spending beyond their means continually, made a serious and grievous bet, investment, or mistake. You need them to own the problem like appropriate adults before you give them 1 penny. They were big time embarrassed and were backed into a corner. None of this is your problem, your fault, and now not your concern. I would be wondering about who did what and who is influencing who. Sounds like her husband decided you're the gal with the golden checkbook and is enraged that you asked any questions at all. Maybe this will break your relationship for a while. It's really not the terrifying thing it feels like right now. They deserve a timeout. Being your own adult does not make you worthless. They chose to call you that and weaponize it. Write one more text. Mom, I don't understand what happened. I heard your request and explained I had to review my finances. I don't know why you both think I have that much money immediately on hand to loan out. If you stand by your choices to hurl insults at me for choosing to be judicious, that is your choice. If you and you alone this time would like to try to have this conversation again, I'll do that. If you choose to blame me for something I have no part in, that is your choice. No one who loves me would want me to make a poorly informed financial decision of that magnitude. No one who loves me would call me worthless because I ask questions and for time to consider your request. So much this message. I stepped on them or tried to contact them, but I'll extend this olive branch and see what happens. Uh, and then we've got the update. Thank you to everyone who commented for your thoughtful feedback and advice. I appreciate everyone's support and concern that I was potentially in financial danger. I no longer think am at any financial risk and have obtained some resolution on the situation, even if it's not what I was hoping for. After my stepdad's statement that I was worthless to them now, I did not reach out again and did not hear from them until today. My mother reached out over text as follows: "No worry about the ex, we are good." I responded as follows: "Great, I'm glad that you worked it out, and I'm sorry that you have to deal with these extra challenges with X." I did feel quite blindsided by the way you and X reacted to me saying I was uncomfortable with it and wanted to think about the situation first. The things that were said were hurtful to me, and I didn't feel that it was fair. She responded with this: We were just proposing some options to help us. Your reaction was negative. I cannot do the mental gymnastics necessary to make calling me worthless, among other things, justified by my reaction being negative. I don't see how I can move on and let it go with this stage without her apologizing or at least acknowledging that what they said was hurtful. So the financial situation is resolved, and at this state, I think I'm going to give the relationship some breathing room for my own mental health. If anyone has any further advice given the above, I would be interested to hear it. Thank you again for all the helpful feedback. I'm amazed at the capacity of complete strangers to be so kind and supportive. What's worthless is two middle aged adults not having their life together and needing their 20 something daughter to bail them out. I'll hear from you the next time your stupidity lays you low. Oh, that is a burn. That is a good burn. And then lobbing hurtful insults when OP said she needed to give it some thought. I'd be very busy at work for a long time. Chef's kiss. Take a long time out. I hope you check your credit and keep it frozen. Credit is all safe, says OP. I assume they have taken one of the less risky routes I had suggested to them. Hopefully not a concern now, but I will keep tabs on my accounts just in case. Just lock your credit and only unlock when you are applying for credit. Wow, your mother is quite something, isn't she? Personally, I wouldn't reach out to them for quite some time because they are the ones that reacted negatively. and lashed out at you, the person they went to for help. Apparently, it really wasn't something they needed help with, as they were able to figure it out themselves. I too would want an apology. It may be some time before you receive one, if you do at all. They've created this negative aura hanging over your relationship. They'll expect you to ignore it or sweep it under the rug and then be mad when you don't. They don't see you as an equal adult, and they're mad you acted like one instead of a child they can control. Thank you for the comment from OP. Thank you for this. Yes, I think the fact that they were able to resolve it within 2 days without my help has put into perspective for me how little they value our relationship. This was a problem they were apparently able to solve quickly with another solution, but yet they still reacted the way they did to me, requesting time to think. I don't I do think they expect me to sweep it under the rug, but I don't think I can. I think low contact is probably appropriate, at least for now. You definitely should not sweep this under the rug. How they responded to you was horrible, and there was no justification for acting like that. Yeah, and they likely only backed off because they found another person was easier to convince, not because they were sorry. They just didn't have to double down on being complete jerks. They have the same rotten values they had before they asked OP. If OP comes into money or they burn all their other bridges down, they will come back and try harder. As a 54-year-old parent of six, I will freeze, starve, or die any of 10,000 ways to never take from my children in any way, nor would any of my children ever be worthless for not giving in to my selfish reason. It's disgusting. Move on. You are better than they are. Same, except, wow, six? Lucky. You think six is lucky, just wait till you have hundreds. I am the same. If my kids buy me presents, I will gift them a little extra gift to the same value because I hate them spending their money on me. I don't make it obvious I say this reminded me of you, so I purchased it for you. It's pretty obvious that your parents don't see you as someone who is worth their time and respect if you aren't going to bend to their will. That's not acceptable behavior for any parent. Going no contact. Going no contact is the best thing for you to do at this point. Your parents suck. They sound like every other narcissist. They will never take responsibility, apologize, have your empathy, or stop finding new ways to hurt or manipulate OP. You can't heal from narcissistic abuse until you completely remove yourself from it. OP, come on over to r/estranged adult children. It helps to hear from others with similar parents and how life is improved when you take power to hurt you away from them. You sound confused. Telling me I was worthless was a negative reaction. Me telling you I needed time to think about your proposal was a thoughtful reaction. But hey, glad you haven't figured out without me. Yeah, I'm glad they figured it out, which probably just means manipulating some other poor person into doing what they wanted, or, something else. Who knows? If they broke the law, or if they did something bad, they're gonna have to pay to that later, and then they'll just, I guess they'll deal with that when it comes. But yeah, narcissists absolutely do never admit they're wrong. But yeah, the second they called me worthless, if I didn't give them money, I would be like, well, now I'm never giving you money ever. So yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, like, if you're gonna be super rude to me and then ask me for a favor, no. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to do that? Am I the asshole for kicking my mother-in-law and brother-in-law out of our driveway? They have been living in a car here for a month. What? Okay, this is Mark does not the asshole. We had a terrible snowstorm hit here last month. I had heard from some of the other family members that my mother-in-law was staying in a car with my brother-in-law, her son. On Christmas Day, we told them to meet us at a nice restaurant for Christmas dinner. What I saw was pitiful. They were both skin and bones. I told them they could hook a big heater up to their car and stay in our driveway until the storm passed. It has well passed, and they were still here, and we're cooking every meal for them, which has put us in a financial strain. My brother in law has been on drugs for a while and can't hold down a job because of it. Since my mother in law has stayed with him, she is also doing heavier drugs, and her mental health is declining. She lost her husband 2 years ago and since then is losing her mind. She will talk about people stealing her name on Facebook and framing her to drag her to hell. She's always saying stuff like this. My brother-in-law leaves a mess in the driveway. The neighbors have mentioned it to me. He also revs up his car, and the neighbors have complained. My mother-in-law is waiting on a big check and has been for a year, but I fear that has already been spent on drugs. Everyone in the family has asked her to stay inside in a room, and she wants to live out in the car with her youngest son and the poor dog he keeps in there. The dog has pooped in the car. Gross. My husband feels like they were his responsibility since his dad passed away. I told them he needed to give them tough love. I told him to give them money for a hotel for a week since he finally found a job at a restaurant and that they couldn't come back. My husband says that I don't have a big heart like him because I've never been homeless and he has. I feel like we need to push them out so that forces them to get their life together. I'm torn because my mother in law needs to be in a mental hospital, but she would never forgive us if we went that route. Am I the asshole for kicking them out of here? Side note, we tried letting the brother-in-law stay in the guest room in here, and he steals stuff and leaves the house a mess. Not the asshole. Definitely not the asshole. Definitely not the asshole. Um, I'd go to the authorities and let them handle it before my neighbors did it for me. Not the asshole. Her husband needs to truly listen to her, and she needs to firmly tell him to stop enabling their behavior. You've likely heard the saying, necessity is the mother of invention. It means that when people face a problem, they're only driven to create their own solution if they've exhausted every other resource or hit rock bottom. Her husband isn't allowing that to happen. Right now, her husband is trying to ease his own guilt about the situation they're in. Maybe his father asked him to always take care of them or be responsible for your mom and brother before he passed away, and if he did do that, then shame on him. By continuing to make excuses for his mother and his brother, he continues to enable him. That may absolve him of some of his guilt, but it's certainly not helping them. In fact, he's hurting them, even though he's doing so unintentionally. By providing them with a safety net or a soft place to land, he's helping to keep them in a cycle of dependency and codependency. Without facing the actual consequences of their actions, they have no reason to change, no reason to get better or move forward with their lives. OP, your husband needs to understand that by enabling them, he becomes the one who's holding them back. The hard, painful truth is that sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let people face the reality of their situation. It's the only way they'll find the drive to move forward. And then OP says, I agree 1000%. We have paid for a dog friendly hotel room tonight and told them not to come back. They will survive, and if they get worse, I'm calling the cops to let them know where they are. Jail might be good for my brother in law. At least he will be clean, fed, and have a bed. Hopefully, you didn't pay for this on a credit card. When they fail to leave or trash the room, guess who's getting charged for the extra stay and damages? Certainly not. Please make sure you also call animal control, especially if you have access to a no-kill shelter or would be willing to temporarily house the dog in order to rehome it, or find a shelter that will take it in. The poor thing does not have a choice in where it lives, and it is clearly suffering. The last two places I've lived, the local Humane Society was no kill, aka life saving, so if you're not sure, do check. Yeah, that's messed up, dude. It's pretty sad, the whole thing with the dog. And yeah, the poor dog. That's why I got rid of my cat. I had to get rid of my cat back in 2019 because I was in a really awful situation, which was terrible for both my mental and physical health. And therefore, I could only imagine it was terrible for my cat's mental and physical health. So, yeah, that's why I gave her to the shelter. So, she's living an amazing life somewhere. And, I'm moving on to the next story now. Am I the asshole for telling my sister to step up and help her adult child? And this one is marked as OP's the asshole, so this will be interesting to see. Hi everyone. I'm a 38 female and my sister, who's a 51-year-old female, let's call her Jenny, has 5 children who are now all adults. 31 male, 30 female, 31 male, 30 male, 28 female, 27 female, 24 male. 3 of those children, the 30-year-old male, 28 female, 27 male, have either very limited contact with their mother or refuse to have contact at all. She thinks they are being selfish and ungrateful, but they all have valid reasons for not being in contact. Her daughter, let's call her Lily, now has a young child of her own, and thanks to her unwanted advances from her former housemate, she's in emergency accommodation while she waits for social housing. She's been in emergency accommodation since before Christmas. My husband, a 42 male, and I offered her and her child the use of our spare room until she gets on her feet, but she declined it because it would lower her chances of being provided her own place. The problem is that she doesn't have her own car. We have lent her my husband's car and have promised her that we would help her get a car and that we would initially pay for it, but that she would have to work off her debt by doing some cleaning and maintenance for us, and she has happily agreed. The whole time her mother, Jenny, has shown little interest in her daughter. They don't have the best relationship as it is, and Lily feels constantly let down by Jenny. With permission from Lily, I've been updating Jenny on the situation, which has led to Jenny complaining that she only hears about Lily's situation from me. Today I asked her if she'd be willing to spend some of her savings that she told me about to help get Lily a car. She was angry with me for making that suggestion while not telling Lily that she had to start spending time with Jenny. Jenny also said also that she'd been asked to do this by another sister, and that she was looking for cars as we speak, despite not being aware of the requirements of a car. Apparently, she wants to tell Lily that if she has money for a car, then Lily has to let Jenny have access to the grandchild. Lily has not once asked Jenny for help. It is all coming from me. I told Jenny that her daughter was her responsibility, not mine, and that she needed to reach out and help her. Here's where I might be the asshole. I was a little rude in our conversation, which was over text message. I stand by what I wrote, that she had to step up and provide for her adult child, but I wasn't very kind and I let my growing frustration bubble over, and it showed in the texts. Alright, you're the asshole. Your sister has shown you who she is, a less than stellar person, so believe it. Your niece doesn't want her own child going through the pain and that she went through at her sister's hands. If you're going to help your niece, do it. But your sister won't. Accept it and move on. There is a reason her own children barely speak to her. Even if OP's sister does offer to help, I bet her niece is smart enough not to accept it. Any help is going to come with at least a dozen strings attached. The sister is already saying she'll help only if she has access to the child. Either OP just doesn't accept that her sister is never going to do the right thing, or she thinks it's okay to attach strings. My money's on the former. She doesn't want to accept that her sister cannot be counted on. She needs to take a cue from the kids and accept that this is reality, whether or not she likes it. You're the asshole. Lily didn't ask for help, you offered it. Lily is an adult and needs to figure out life. While her mom seems to suck, it isn't her responsibility to help her daughter anymore now that she's an adult. Just because you offered doesn't mean other people have to pitch in. Sorry, but this is a sucky response. Helping family when they need it is bad, apparently, and not helping the child you birthed with the grandchild you want to see is good. Well, we're at it. You might suck, but you could also be having a bad day. Yeah, I personally think helping your children, no matter what age they are, is important. And, I might be biased because I'm 30 and my mom has been helping me a lot, especially over the past few years with COVID. And then I lived with her for 2 years. And now I'm like living with her again for however long. I don't know until I get subsidized housing, which it could be a month, it could be a year. I really don't know. But I do but yeah, I do think that you should do that. And if I ever had kids, I would absolutely extend the same to my children. Like, let them live with me if they ever needed it or whatever, or like take care of them if they needed my help. But yeah, I think the sister's kind of a crappy person, and OP's like a decent person, despite the text that she sent to her sister, because she's actually helping Lily, which is super nice. You know, like the comments are saying, OP offered to help, Lily didn't ask for help, and, you know, I get the feeling that if she did need help, that she wouldn't want to go to her mom first because of the way her mom is. Which, yeah, there's a reason why her own kids don't speak to her. So, personally, I think that, yeah, you should help family when they need it. And, if your child is in trouble, you should help them regardless of age. But, like, But I also think that the sister is kind of a crappy person, and not just for not like, stepping up to help a kid, is one thing, which is one thing, but obviously there's some stuff that went on between them. There was a reason why they don't talk to each other. There was a reason why the kids don't talk to her because like 3 out of 5 kids aren't talking to her. So that just seems like if it was just one of the kids and the other 4 kids were all siding with the mom, then I could see maybe being just that one kid having a problem. But the fact that 3 of her kids aren't talking to her, it makes me think that the problem lies with the sister, that the mom is the problem, and there's a reason why Lily doesn't want her mom to do anything with doesn't want her mom to have anything to do with her or the grandchild, basically. And yeah, if I had a shitty situation with a parent, I would want to protect that from my child too. I'd want to protect my kid from that, so I wouldn't be going and letting that person who like abused me or did whatever to interact with my grandchild to interact with my child and their grandchild. I wouldn't want that for them. So yeah, like I don't know. Anyway, oof. They're estranged, were estranged, and will be estranged. Jenny's kids won't help Jenny in the old age and are no contact for good reasons, which basically means because she sucks and her contact harms them. In that setup, there is no family to help. Another sucky answer, you're letting her mother who birthed her off the hook, and at the same time expecting children to not need their parents. You can say just let it go, and academically, you'll be completely right. The world doesn't look like academia, though, so maybe you should look at how the rest of the world operates and realize why expectations might be the way they are. What is it that you want to hear? OP can't force your sister to do anything. With becoming an adult, one of the things you have to accept is that your parents aren't going to magically change into the people you need or want them to be if they already weren't. You can beg, whine, complain, and try to guilt trip them, but there comes a time that you have to accept that this is basically what it's going to be. I don't know what you want to hear apart from that. What do you want to hear? Must I change what I think because you said some people suck? I'm not going to suck just because you do, I'm afraid. If you have nothing better to say than OP is wrong because her sister is a bad mother, then stop talking to me. For you to acknowledge reality, you can scream at people that they should be different, but after growing up with them, you should know them by now. I'm not going to suck just because you do. Jesus, grow up, you're like a 5-year-old. Okay, it's just spiraled into an argument between these two annoying people. Because Jenny was a bad mother but has time to reflect and make amends while changing into a better human. Lily does not want amends from Jenny, and did not even wrote anything amends worthy. Per OP, kids are low contact because Jenny is not initiating contact, which kind of makes me want to believe that OP does squat zero about issues between them. Either way, Jenny needs to get ready for retirement. Maybe Jenny is emotionally unavailable. Maybe she is on the spectrum, acting like an elephant, not knowingly hurting people, or maybe she intentionally insults people. None of that matters because this is relationships between adults. Okay, what is this being on the spectrum acting like an elephant? What? What does that mean? Do elephants unintentionally hurt people? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Alright, okay. This next one is from r/ relationship advice. I'm a 19-year-old female and my biological mom is 35. My dad is 45. Words cannot express how I'm feeling. If you do the math, you'll see that my bio mom was 16 and my father was 26 when I was born. Oh my god. Ew, gross. I never knew this, so I'm really disappointed at the moment. I never really knew my mom. She and my dad split when I was 3, and the memories I have of her are very distant. My dad remarried when I was 6 to my stepmom, a 42-year-old female, and together they had 3 more kids. In my household, it was no step or half. We were simply just family. Did I ever wonder about my bio mom? Yes and no. I was raised in a tight knit home, so I never really felt like I was missing something because my stepmom also raised me, but I sometimes wondered about the woman who I'm supposedly a carbon copy of. My dad rarely talked about my mom. From what I knew, they got married when they found out she was pregnant, and she left. I reached out first, and we met up for the first time last week. I was so nervous. I felt like I made a mistake, but she explained to me her story. My mom was a troubled teen and she left home. She and dad met when my mom was 15, shortly after she ran away from home. He offered her a place to stay, and it wasn't long before they started a relationship. She said that she was miserable at the time. She didn't want a baby, me. She didn't want to be married, and she realized she made a mistake. She said the marriage was so bad and it was really unhealthy. So one day, at the same exact age I am right now, she left. She moved back home and restarted her life. I'm so angry. I'm so angry about so many things. I was groomed when I was 14 by an adult, and luckily my dad caught the situation fairly early before any serious damage could happen. The way my dad handled it was amazing, yet it turns out he is the same exact person I escaped. And also, I'm regretting meeting my mom. I keep dodging text messages, which isn't fair as I'm the one who reached out to her, but I'm regretting it. Why did I find it necessary to meet a person that didn't go looking for me? It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I don't know how to process this wave of emotions. How do I? The person that I usually go to for advice on things is my dad, but what can I do now that I can't even go to him? I've been doing well, you know. I've been in therapy since my early teens, but as of 2 years ago, I've been doing so well. Now it feels like I'm in a rut. It feels like I'm just mad at everyone and all the angry emotions are just piling on. How do I process everything? Ugh. Whoa, this is honestly therapy level stuff. This is really messed up. It's okay to dodge calls at the moment. You needed time to process. Did your dad know you were getting in contact and meeting with your bio mom? And OP says, no, I didn't. No, he didn't. I didn't tell him or my stepmom. If you want to be decent, send your bio mom a quick message saying thanks for meeting you and that you need some space to process what you learned. You definitely need to find someone to talk to. This is a really messed up situation. I'm sorry. And then Opie says, I decided to send her a message. I did want to call, but I just didn't know what to say. I just wouldn't know what to say. I basically said that it was great meeting her, but I just need some time to think about some things. And then someone replies, it's okay, sweetheart. You're doing the best you can. I'm sorry you're going through this. Take your time. If you can make time to check in with Biomom in a few weeks if you're still processing, process as long as you need to. And if you want a quick, thanks again for being patient with me, goes a long way. She may be the one person to understand how you feel about these things that you can go to. As a mother, I'd want my daughter to talk to me about anything bothering her, and I wouldn't judge her one bit. It's always more worry than anything. I wish you the best, OP. Also, please reach out if you need help. I ran from home at 19 and have struggled and dealt with men far older than a young woman should be talking to. If you're doubting yourself, read these comments again. You have every right to feel how you're feeling. Let the emotions flow. Good luck. Love Reddit, Mama. Thank you, said OP. You got this. I know it all seems like a lot, but take it one day at a time. You are such a brave person for seeking help. Yeah, I agree. Seeking therapy is such a good thing that you can do. Mm. Firstly, I'm so very sorry you're going through this right now. I'd suggest doing additional therapy sessions if you can, while you try to process everything. This is a lot, and anyone would struggle dealing with this. I would suggest avoiding making any decisions about your mother right now. Perhaps you could just text her and tell her you're overwhelmed, and ask if you can have some space right now. If you think you might want to pursue a relationship with her, you could just ask her to give you a bit of time before you get in touch with her when you're ready. OP says, I don't know what I want to do in terms of a relationship with her. I really feel like I just need time to see what I was and I'm trying to get out of building a connection with. Yeah, I really don't think you should make a decision until you've had time to process everything. I just tell her that and ask for space. And I talk with your therapist for a bit before trying to talk with your father because I don't think you're in the right state of mind to try and deal with that right now on top of everything else. All right. All right. Um uh, hang on. I'm looking for something. Okay. Oh, this one was deleted. Dang it. Okay. Um, Right. This one is from r slash Reddit on Wiki, and it's originally from r slash relationship advice. My boyfriend, 20 male, said he would leave me at 24 female if I couldn't have kids. My boyfriend and I have been together 6 months, both want kids very badly, and I've expressed to him that one of my biggest fears is being infertile. He said infertile. He said he would never want to adopt and never want to go to a sperm bank. I asked him what we would do if we couldn't have kids in any way, like nothing worked. He said he would leave me and he would expect me to want to do the same because we both deserve what we want in life. I'm sorry, but is that not incredibly hurtful? How would this make you feel? I'm looking for male and female perspectives on this situation. I feel like he doesn't truly love me and that I'm disposable, if that makes sense. Anyone else feel like they would feel this way? Alright. Alright. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Oh, I don't know what I think. This is complicated. It's, it's just really complicated. Hold on. Trying to see something. I'm a woman and I don't want children. If my husband told me from the beginning he wanted children, we would be incompatible. OP and their dude seem incompatible. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think if you feel badly about it, then yeah, that's your right to feel bad about it, to feel shitty because that is that can make you feel bad, and it is kind of a shitty thing to do or to say and just drop that on someone or, be like, I could understand why someone would feel hurt by that, but ultimately, I just think that they, yeah, if someone wants kids and the other one doesn't, then definitely, they shouldn't have a relationship or whatever. And like, like if if the boyfriend wants kids and like I don't know, I mean they could try for kids first or whatever and see hopefully I don't know, are they gonna be infertile? Hopefully not. I don't know if they should try for kids or like if OP's infertile. I don't know. I'm moving on to the next thing. And this next one is from r slash am I wrong? Am I wrong for wanting to send our son away? From the age of 7, our son, who's 10 now, started displaying sadistic behavior. He likes to torment his siblings as a hobby because having control over others amuses him. I guess the final straw was when he took our eldest daughter's pet hamsters, stabbed them to death, and laughed while she was watching and crying. Jesus Christ. We tried punishing him, but no punishment affects him. He doesn't show any displeasure towards punishment because he refuses for us to be in control of him. We even tried spanking him as a last resort, but while he was being spanked, he was smiling as if he was enjoying it. I'm thinking if he can do that to an animal and not feel bad, then we are all in danger. I think it's best if we send him away to some kind of place for troubled kids. You need to seek out help from a specialist in child psychiatry and behavior. Your son needs professional psychological intervention immediately. Potential signs of conduct disorder or early antisocial personality traits require expert assessment and targeted treatment. I've struggled for years to get my daughter intervention, and I was continually ignored. She got diagnosed with conduct disorder with antisocial personality features a year ago. Just this Monday, I finally got a court order for her to go into treatment. Only took her beating me up in front of a cop wearing a body cam for anyone to actually follow through and help us. It is hard. And insurance companies will lie to you and delay and deny. It won't be a quick process. Keep pushing and fighting to get the kid help. No one else is going to advocate for your child more than you. Chase down every possible opportunity for treatment and stay on top of them. What a horrible situation. You probably really wanted that child, looked forward to all the major milestones, bonding, and fun activities together, and then you're dealt this the horrible behavior, you questioning yourself, possible judgment from others. I'm so sorry you've been through such a bad time of it, and hope the treatment center can help your daughter and heal your family. You're absolutely right. Sending him away isn't the answer, it's a band aid. He needs professional help immediately. A child psychiatrist or a behavioral specialist can diagnose and treat his issues. This isn't about punishment, it's about getting him the therapy he desperately needs. Ignoring this is dangerous for everyone. Find a specialist now. Don't delay, his behavior is escalating. There are resources available, find them. This requires professional intervention, not just parental discipline. Sending them away Sending him away is the answer because he is going to hurt one of them, if not all. I do keep posting this, but people should really be aware the overwhelmingly vast number of facilities for kids/teens are privately run, which means companies that are for profit can and do deny kids based on whether they pose a risk. For example, insurance. In my state, there's only one public hospital for teens left, and it's way under capacity because they can't staff it. There may not be a place that helps. Also, research indicates that attachment to a caregiver can help a surprising amount. Sending them away disrupts the attachment process, and those facilities are constantly riddled with abuse and sex abuse scandals. Deleted comment. He needs to be seen by by a medical professional and diagnosed. This, like yesterday already. Exactly, he needs mental health support, a proper diagnosis and therapy, or possibly meds ASAP. You will need them to find the best place to send him. Sending the problem away will not solve it. Get him the care he needs to be a better person. The sadistic and cruel behavior is definitely unnerving. Everything else could be normal for a child with ASD? No, not ASD. Either way, you will not be doing your duty as a parent if you don't discuss this with your GP and get a referral to a specialist ASAP. Ugh, gross. This is not true. True sociopaths are a danger to their family and neighborhood and need to be in a facility with 24/7 surveillance. Sad but true. Yeah, when they are diagnosed with suitable treatment. Torturing and killing animals is what serial killers enjoy when they are children. Yeah, exactly. So the siblings should be there to be abused so the son can learn boundaries. The other kids need to be safe, first and foremost. Yeah, okay, I don't. Alright. I think I'm gonna just. Alright, I don't know. Um, alright, I think I'm gonna stop for now. Maybe I'll come back later. Maybe this will be the end of the video. We'll see. But right now, I'm just gonna take a break. Alright, I found a story on Best of Writer Updates, and I want to do one more story. Do not comment on link posts, blah blah blah. Alright. Trigger warnings, racism. Am I the asshole for asking my fiance to pay a bride price? March 27th, 2021. Throw away for obvious reasons. I'm not asking your opinion on bride prices. I'm asking if I was wrong for doing what I did. My fiance, a 32-year-old male, is a white European man. I, 31 female, am a black African woman. We've been dating for 7 years. I came to his country to study and have lived and worked here since. Ever since we started dating, he took such an interest in my culture, asked me to teach him my language, culture, and we've even been to visit a few times. He asked me to marry him last year and I accepted. We're planning our wedding. I mentioned we'd need to account for my family back home. We could have the traditional wedding in my home country and the white wedding in his, since we don't want to ask anyone to fly and get visas, etc. The issue came when I mentioned a bride price needing to be paid, something he scoffed at. To call it a bride price is misleading because there was so much more to it than the money that changes hands. It's a time-honored tradition that blends two families into one, and it's just something I wanted to do when I got married. I mentioned he knew of marriage customs in my country and that they include a bride price. We both work in law and human rights type of field, so he assumed I would be against a bride price. I told him I'm against it being a forced and money-making thing, but I'm asking that he does it because I choose it and I want to honor my parents and culture. He refused, saying it was backwards and extortionate, and it would be like he bought me. I assured him that wasn't the case. My parents would charge a tokenistic/symbolic amount, nothing crazy just to symbolize us getting together. I said if my parents were to sell me, he couldn't afford me. This set him off in a rage because I somehow insulted him by saying that, when what I meant is my parents aren't looking to make money off me, but this is something my people have done for millennia, and I don't want to break from tradition. I've said I don't know if I'm willing to go ahead with marrying him if he isn't willing to make the trip to my country and talk to my parents about the Lobola process. He says I'm forcing slash manipulating him. I am not. He knew from day one who I was and where I came from. This is what my people do, and I feel for him to label it backwards as Eurocentric because he is viewing it from his lens, despite me having explained what it's actually about it. Ah, at its ad, there's a lot of misconception and ignorance in the comments I should try to clarify. One, boyfriend and I didn't talk about bride price in our specific context. However, he knew from real life and fictional context the marriage customs of my people. I assume that he, knowing what he knows, would have known the steps necessary for marrying me. Perhaps I was wrong to assume that. This Lobola is no affront to him or his upbringing outside of what I view to be a judgment of moral superiority. Two, a lot of your comments are ignorant with thinly veiled racial undertones. I knew coming to a platform with predominantly white users, this was a risk. I ask that you read what you're saying before you post and ask yourself if you're coming from a position of superiority colored by your beliefs of Africa and Africans. Step outside your worldview. Three, frankly, my parents are wealthy. They neither need nor plan to get rich off my marriage. They have a demonstrated pattern of behavior that assures me they're reasonable and fair when it comes to this kind of thing. Four, the money is a minuscule, literally like 5% part of the traditional marriage, but it is a part of it. The other 95% is not monetary and is a beautiful ceremony that blends two families together. My concern is that if he's willing to shun the 95% for the sake of the 5%, what does my future with this man look like? Five, culturally, if we do not go through these customs, I am not married and my marriage won't be recognized. The ceremony is a cultural must have, the wedding ceremony a nice to have. My family means a lot and my parents have done a lot for me. I disrespect my parents over something that I not only think is a non issue, but something I agree with. You seem to miss the part where I am willingly consenting to this. Final edit, logging off. Lobola is something I am unable and unwilling to scrap. I'll talk to him if we shall decide on the future of this relationship. If it's something he is unwilling to partake in, I guess we'll have our answer. Thanks to those of you who were useful in your advice and respectful in our agreement, in your disagreements. Bye. Update on a profile page but recovered from comments. Link and date unavailable due to the account being deleted. And the wife did, in fact, delete her account because I guess she I guess she don't like the things people were saying. And from these comments, it seems like people are just being racist asshole. From what she said in the post, it seems like people just want to be racist assholes for the sake of being racist assholes and won't shut up about, oh, the bride price is stupid and blah, 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 and all that cultural shit that they don't know anything about. So they shouldn't talk on it. Am I the asshole mods didn't allow an update on the sub? So for those of you who've asked who it is, I have over 100 messages in my inbox. Most are nice, some are decidedly not. I would love to respond to all of you, at least the civil people, but I have a job, baby, and I can't do that. So I'll do my best to answer here. I need a job. I'm gonna get a job soon. That's what the employment program is for. I need a job, baby. I love the way she says it. Firstly, I want to thank those of you who reached out to check on me after this. It's kind of you, but you don't need to worry about me. I'm a big girl and I know how to handle myself. Emoji kissy face. This post got a lot more traction than I was expecting, like a lot, a lot. I don't use this sub, but it's somewhat infamous, so I thought I'd try it. It seems I was asking too much of Redditors by asking them to engage in a little cultural relativism. That's on me. I'll take that L. I mean, I think people shouldn't speak on cultural stuff that they know nothing about, which is why I'm not going to speak on it. I've heard from so many African women in interracial relationships whose white partners have observed their version of lobola. Thank you all. It was really nice to hear from people who not only understand the culture but have been through something similar. It is people like you I was hoping to hear from, so I'm grateful you were able to offer some perspective. I wish I could respond to you all. Know that I'm grateful for your input and I wish you well. I also heard from a lot of Asian users who have similar cultural practices which they wish to uphold when they marry. Rooting for you all, you deserve to be your authentic selves with your chosen spouses. It's always fascinating to me to hear how other people live. Thank you again for reaching out to tell me your stories. A lot of you were mad that I pointed out there was racial and cultural superiority in your comments. Stay mad. Objective morality does not exist. You're disappointed and insulted I chose not to follow the ways of enlightened Europe and stick to the barbaric customs of my people. That's a you problem. Agreed. I'm not European and I have no desire to be. I like who I am and where I'm from. I didn't leave my country because it sucked, and I would have long left had I not met this man. If that's an affront to you, too bad. PSA for the young girls on the sub. Underlining a deal breaker is not manipulative. Don't let people tell you that. You should set your boundaries, and people are free to take it or leave it. Don't let anyone make you feel bad or bully you into doing what they want. Yes, sing it, sister. I showed this to my fiance. Neither of us could read through the 1700 plus comments, but we read enough to get the gist of it. Some of you will be disappointed to know we have not broken up. He has not left me. He did, however, point out that this was not the right place to ask this question, which again was an error on my part. He saw a lot of you making the same argument as him about it being inappropriate for him to marry me in accordance with my cultural practices. He doesn't hold this forum in high regard, so it was the wake up call he needed to realize he was in the wrong. It's not for him to determine what is and isn't culturally appropriate in my culture. Lobola is not a cultural affront to him, but the absence of it would be to me. I was right. He did know I'd want him to go through the Lobola process. He was going to see if he could talk me out of it before his ego was bruised by a tongue-in-cheek comment. He's apologized for how he acted. Once he got off his ethnocentric high horse, that's a word, I guess, he said he was willing to go through with Lobola as long as it's what I wanted. Yes, I apologize for the tongue-in-the-cheek comment. We've signed up for premarital counseling. Good idea. And we're in the process of setting a date for Lobola upon completion. People raised concerns for my well being and asked if he could be a closet racist. I don't believe that to be the case. We've been together a long time, and this was the first time he said something that I would consider to be racist. He's a good man. However, like everyone, he does have biases and issues to work through. That's what prompted us to sign up for premarital counseling to address and work on these. Uh, and work on those. Again, thank you for caring. I'm good. A final unexpected note to discuss messages I've had on career advice and NGOs, whatever those are. The development sector is messed up, this is true. However, it is a vehicle through which a lot of people receive a lot of help they need. Like everything, it has its good and bad aspects. We work in water scarcity and water rights. Ooh, whoa, that's really nice. I love that. So we're not directly involved in the development part. I wouldn't say turn your back on it, though. We need good people to go and do good things. Remember to listen to people in the developing world. They're smart, resourceful, and they know what their communities need to thrive. Be prepared to serve their needs and you'll be okay. Good luck with it. There is a whole world outside the internet. If you view the world through your lens from your small corner of the world, you will miss out on a lot of beautiful and wonderful things. I won't be reading the comments. Make of this what you will. Wear a mask and drink plenty of water. Bye. Oh, yeah, this was posted 2021. So right smack dab in the middle of COVID and all the lockdowns and all that stuff that was happening. We don't do masks anymore. Well, in my country at least, like you don't have to wear a mask. Most people don't. I've seen a few people walking around who still wear a mask, especially like right after the mandate was lifted. But some people still do walk around. Most people don't. And it's actually been really nice to not have to wear a mask either. And then a few years later, in May of 2024, this is the husband's part. My wife, a 34 female, left me a 35 male because I was racist to her and I can't get her to come back. Can I recover from my mistakes? This is recovered through r/am I the devil, which is another one of our favorite subreddits. Long post alert. Sorry for the brain dump. I just need help saving my family. I sincerely feel our problem started on Reddit, so I feel it's only right to come back here to see if you can help me solve the mess we made. So, a few years ago, my wife came to Reddit for advice navigating a cultural clash. You can read her original post here. Except, no, you can't because she deleted the account. In retrospect, the responses she got were awful, rude, and many were racist. My wife is from Zimbabwe, I am Swiss, and we met while at university in my country. I fell for her instantly. Truthfully, I'd never seen anyone so beautiful. She was kind, so incredibly intelligent, and had this gravitational pull to her. We started off as friends, but we eventually began dating and got into a steady relationship. I wanted to marry straight away, but she had career ambitions she wanted to meet before she married. At the time of the Reddit post, I was going through some stuff. In truth, I knew the expectation of Laura was on anyone who would marry her, and I had been saving for that alongside her engagement ring for years. She had gotten into a fight. I had gotten into a fight with my brother before she asked me about setting a date for Aurora. where he'd said some nasty things about me being with a black woman and how I was losing myself and my cultural identity due to the concessions I made to be with my wife. It's why I reacted the way I did when she asked me about it, something I deeply regret to this day. After the shit show that was that post, we spent 3 months in couples counseling. She repeatedly told me that she didn't want to force me to do anything I didn't want to do. She said that she deserved to be with someone who enthusiastically embraced all parts of her, and if any part of me took issue with her culture, she asked that I bow out before I tied us together for life. I confess that I knew all along about the war and I prepared for it, but the conversations with my brother are what led me to say what I did. She was mad. I'd allowed her to be mocked, ridiculed, and bullied by strangers online because I couldn't communicate with her, but we worked through it. We had a beautiful traditional wedding in her country, then another one with my traditions in mine. Her family was kind and welcoming, making many concessions for me, as they had done since I met them. We planned on starting a family soon after we married, but she'd always said she wanted to have her babies back in her country so she can have her family around her. We had agreed that this is what we do. It's important to note that my wife doesn't really like living here. She says she hates living here. We lived in Sweden for much of our relationship, and many will know the people are on the cold side. We lived. She hated the food, the weather, struggled with the cold people. Her country's people are very warm and friendly. For the last 2 years, she had to go on antidepressants because it was all a bit much for her. She asked me when we were going to move, and I asked for us to hang on for a while so I can finish a project I'm leading at work. We'd thought about this in the past, but this time she just nodded at me, so I thought she finally got it. That was over 18 months ago, and we didn't end up moving as I got promoted, and it became harder to walk away. Her grandma passed away, so I attributed the low mood to that. Oh my gosh. I can already see where the whole "Am I the devil" thing is coming from. And yeah, OP sucks. They agreed to move back to a country, and OP is like constantly making excuses to not do it. It's like when I asked my mom to do this thing to do this thing, and she's like, "Yeah, okay," and then she constantly makes excuses not to do it. Anyway, our problems came when she asked me if I was having an affair with my colleague. This was when I got home late one evening and found her sitting in the dark. I'd forgotten she was making dinner for us, to be honest, because I had a lot going on at work and it just slipped my mind. I told her that colleague and I were working late and I forgot. Sorry. Sorry, when you said she was sitting in the dark, all I could think of is that this scene has been memed to death, by the way, and a lot of other shows and movies have paid homage to it. But when the guy, I don't remember where it originally came from even, but when they were sitting in the dark and then you come home and it's dark and then they switch the light on and they're like hello and they catch you and it's creepy. And anyway, um she grew confrontational and told me I was spending a lot of time with my colleague lately, and she's noticed her name on my phone more than a few times. She asked me if there was anything she ought to know. This is when I may have killed my marriage. I told her I didn't give her father a truck full of cattle for her to question me. Oh my god. Oh, P, what the fuck? This was my house, my wife, and if I wanted to have something on the side, that was nobody's business but mine? What? You you're married and you were just like to your wife, I'm allowed to cheat on you. You basically told your wife you were allowed to cheat on her. She looked like I'd slapped her and I could see her holding back tears. I don't know why I didn't drop to my knees and beg forgiveness. Instead, doubled down and told her to stop the theatrics. Oh my god, OP. What the fuck is wrong with you? Here's the thing, I'm not having an affair of any kind with my colleague. Okay, but if you were, apparently that would be fine. Like, you don't care enough about your wife to. We really were just heavily into this project we were both super excited about. I don't know why I couldn't just say that to my wife. She didn't come to bed that night, and I left early in the morning the day after and came home when she was asleep. This continued for days where I avoided her because I couldn't face the guilt. On the Friday, came home to a gift box that contained a positive pregnancy test and a long letter from my wife. I won't share all of it, but she said she was going to tell me on the night I bailed on dinner that I had hurt her beyond measure with what I said to her, and that she was no longer going to show her love for me through self-sacrifice. She told me that she didn't consent to be in a polygamous relationship, and since it's what I want, I should expect to receive divorce papers from her soon. She left her rings and house keys too. She did the right thing. She literally did the right thing. Like, you literally said, I'm allowed to cheat on you to her. Like, that's what you basically said. Oh my god, that's evil. That's so messed up. And the racist comment, I didn't give your father a truck full of cattle feed. Oh, I had a panic attack. Oh no. Poor OP having a panic attack because he was a terrible person to his wife and now his wife hates him. I had a panic attack. I was able to call for help before the worst of it came, but I spiraled. I'd momentarily fucked up and lost my wife and unborn child because of it. I tried to call her, but her phone was going straight to voicemail. Yeah, probably because she fucking blocked you. If she blocked you, the call wouldn't go through at all. That's what I would have done. I would have blocked you. I called her brother, who was short with me, but assured me she was fine. He wouldn't tell me more. I finally tracked her down after 2 weeks. She'd gone back to her parents in Zimbabwe. I can't follow her just yet. Oh my god. I can't follow her just yet because the project I've worked on for so long now is near completion, and I and I can't walk away. You won't walk away to go after your wife. You're like, how can I save my family? And ignore the one chance you had to save your family, which is to go after her. I mean, I doubt it would have done anything, but you could have at least fucking tried. But no, you can't walk away because there's a project at work. My friends told me I was a racist to my wife and my actions because I never would have tried that with a white man and tried to use with a white woman and tried he wrote man, I think meant to write woman, and tried to use her culture against her. The fact that I wasn't even serious made me more cruel, apparently. She still won't speak to me. I've tried all avenues and she won't hear me out. I love her beyond measure and I don't know how to get her back. Please help me. Oh my gosh. You can't get her back. You can't. You lost her. She's gone forever. And you fucking deserve it. You deserve it. I'm super surprised that it's going to voicemail at all. Like, I'm surprised she didn't just literally block you and, like, never talk to you again. I mean, she's never talking to you again. But I'm surprised she didn't just block you and, like, tell you to go fuck yourself. And I wouldn't have even said anything about the baby personally if it were me. I wouldn't have said anything about the baby. I would've just been like, "Fuck it, he's not worth it." Like, I don't know if that was meant to make him feel bad or if it was meant which he deserved it, by the way, whether he feels bad or not, which he does, he deserves to feel bad because of what he did, but he deserves to see that pregnancy test and know that she was pregnant and that she was having a baby. Or I don't know if it was just for her to, like, be like, "Look what you've lost." Um, or, I don't know if she was gonna be like getting child support later because, the pregnancy test is there. It's your baby. Obviously, she's never cheated on you. So she might use that as leverage to try and get child support from you. I don't know how child support works in Zimbabwe or anything. I only know how it works in like the US and Canada and stuff. But yeah, she could totally use that to get child support from you because there's the pregnancy test. She has a baby. It's your baby. So yeah, whatever. It's not like honestly, I think she might have just put it there to be like, look at what you've lost. She was going to tell you at some point, but, she wanted to tell you, but you were too busy at work with your project and possibly cheating with your colleague for all she knows, which you said you weren't, but I don't know if I entirely trust you. Honestly, like, I don't just because you were so double down on being like, "Well, I can cheat if I want to, I don't care, it's nobody's business but my own," and say that to your wife's face. Alright, comments time. What, and I'm carefully choosing my words, the fuck was he thinking? If I want to cheat on you, I will because I bought you. What did he think would happen? I hope he got shredded in the comments. May he have wet socks for the rest of his miserable life. What wet socks are the worst. I hate them. Edit ad. Also, I don't believe for 1 second he didn't cheat or wasn't thinking of cheating on his wife. Exactly, exactly. If he's willing to be like, well, I gave your father a truck of cattle, that means I get to cheat on you, then yeah. I don't believe that he was just busy with a project at work. He was cheating or he was getting ready to cheat. I don't know why I couldn't just say that to my wife. This guy tries nothing and is all out of ideas that would help. Exactly. He didn't even go after her because apparently the project at work is more important than trying to get his wife and his baby back. Like, he chose a project over them. He could have gone after them. He could have gone after her. Again, it wouldn't have done much. I doubt it. Like, I don't think the wife would have been like, "Oh, you came after me. I love you. Totally gonna take you back now." But like, he could have fucking tried. He didn't even try. He didn't try to go after them because this project at work is more important. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. This guy literally did everything wrong. First he says the racist comment, then he kind of doubles down on it and says that he can cheat on his wife if he wants to. Then he triples down on it by not going after her after finding out that she's also pregnant with his kid. So he doesn't go after her because a project at his work takes precedence. I don't even think it was the project. I don't think it was the project. I think he's just using that as a cover. No, it wasn't his project that took precedence. It was his girlfriend. It was his affair partner that took precedence. He obviously wanted to stay behind so that he could continue cheating on his wife that he's racist against because, he is cheating with the woman that he didn't have to pay a bride price for, which I guess is a thing. And like I said, I'm not gonna speak on the bride price because I'm not gonna speak on things that I have no cultural knowledge and I don't understand how certain things work. And if I don't understand the cultural significance of something, I'm not gonna speak on it. But I am gonna say that's incredibly racist what you did. And then you doubled and tripled down on everything. And honestly, if your project at work is so damn important that you stayed behind instead of going after your wife and unborn child and trying to make things right, then yeah, she doesn't you don't deserve her. She deserves way fucking better. And I hope she finds someone better. And she will find someone better. Because she'll find someone who's not openly racist and doesn't use his racism as an excuse to cheat on you because he had to pay for you, I guess. Which again, he didn't even fucking have to do. Like, you said you weren't trying to force him into anything, but he said he understood the cultural significance of it, and then he would do it because he understood that it was important to you. So, like, you guys talked it out and you came to this agreement, I guess. Or at least you thought you did. I don't know, but he's been holding on to this anger for a long time and he's like openly bitter towards you. And the fact that he said, "Oh, we'll move back to your country soon," and then continues to make excuses not to do it. Like, this guy's the worst. I was gonna say leave him after, like, him not wanting to move back to a country for an entire 18 months, even though you wanted kids and you'd agreed to move back to a country when you were ready to have kids, and now you're also pregnant, well, not in your country, well, still in his country, because he took an extra 18 months and he's just making excuses at this point. And then he promised that you would go back after he was done this one project at work. Then the project ended, but he gets a promotion, and that's his new excuse to, like, not move back, I guess. I don't know. Your husband, he's no, you deleted your account, OP. Okay, husband, you are the worst. And yes, you deserve to have wet socks for the rest of your life. What is wrong with you? You are a terrible person. You don't deserve your wife back. You don't deserve that unborn baby. And I hope the wife goes out, has a great life, and find someone who is going to treat her and her baby right because you don't even deserve to be a dad to that kid. You find out your girlfriend is pregnant and you're just like, well, I'm not gonna bother going after you because I have to stay and do this project at work. No, this project at work takes precedence over you. This project is more important. Sorry, wife. Sorry, baby. Oh my god. Alright, I think this is where I have to end it because it's already been like an extra half hour, and I would sorry about earlier. I was like very out of it and like all over the place, and it's been a weird day, and I had two deliveries coming at different times today, so I was just there was a lot going on, and I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to go through it again. But I love each and every one of you guys. And I'm just gonna let you guys know my next video I'm hoping is going to be I'm gonna be recording YouTube again on Wednesday, and it's going to be a few chapters of A Guardian Angel, hopefully at least five. So get ready for that, and hopefully the video after that is gonna be something Rocket to Insanity something Rocket to Insanity. I'd like to do Rocket to Insanity. I promised you guys that a while ago. I still haven't done it. I wanted to try and do it before I left for the Christmas break, but it was going to be too big of a project for that. So now I gotta figure it out when I'm gonna do it now. I'm trying to figure out a varying schedule where I do like Reddit on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then writing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I switch the weeks. So like I'll do YouTube on Tuesday and Thursday, and writing on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It just depends. And also, I know I have all my like errands on Monday too, so there's that. And I don't want to get into what happened today, but hopefully that's going to be the case. I'm going to try my best to do as much work as possible, whether it's writing or YouTube or whatever, and I'm going to try and keep on a schedule as much as possible. I'm trying to make an actual schedule and work it out, and then I'm going to make a different updated schedule once I get my part-time job. So I love each and every one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself, and you are valid. Don't forget to be good to yourself and to others, and I will see all you guys in the next video, which will be Thursday, I believe.